Hey guys, so in the last lecture we have seen few examples of failure rate, probability distribution function, density function, and reliability. So today we are going to start a new topic in this chapter of reliability engineering, that is dispersion. So what is dispersion? So dispersion is the measures of central tendencies gives us an idea of the concentration of the observations about the central part of the distribution. So, if I want to write a definition of dispersion, it will be the variability or the spread. You can call it as a spread. The variability that exists between the value of the data that exists between the value of data. So how much variability is existing between the value of the data? So that is called dispersion. The extent to which the observations are spread around an average is called dispersion. So suppose there is an average line and your data is somewhat in this manner. So how much there is a difference, there is how much they are spread over the area toward from the average line, so that we can call that dispersion. So the measures of central tendencies. So whatever the measures we do for central tendency, what it gives an idea of the concentration, that where the maximum concentration of the data is there, data lies. Okay, so why we take average? To find that where the major data lies. So concentration of the observation about the central part of the distribution. Thus, the measure of the central tendency are not sufficient. So because the average we take, that is not sufficient to give the complete information of the given data. That is, if our this is our average, then this is not sufficient to give our exact that how our data is spread. So if this is one data and another this is one data, so this both data has same average line, suppose, but their concentration is considered as also same, but real in reality they are very differently spread. So that is also very much important to know. So therefore some additional information for comparison concerning with the how the data is spread about average, and this can be done by measuring the dispersion. So that can be done by this dispersion. So literally the dispersion means scatteredness. You can also call it as scatteredness. Scatteredness. So now, which are the various types of dispersion? So there are two types of dispersion. So first is absolute measure of dispersion. Absolute measure of dispersion. And second is relative measure of dispersion. So let's see first the absolute measure of dispersion. So it is an absolute measure of dispersion. This measures the variability in terms of same units of the data. So it measures variability in the same terms of the unit of the data. So whatever of the unit is of the data, in the same term it will measure. So example, if the units of the data are rupees or meter or kg, etc., the units of the measures of the dispersion will also be the same, that is rupees, meters, and kg. So the common absolute measures or dispersions are, so which are the various dispersions? So that are first, there is range. You can find the range, that how what is the first and last data to from the average. So which what are the farthest datas? That is range. Second is quartile deviation or semi interquartile range. Quartile deviation. or quartile range, then mean deviation, and then it is standard deviation, then standard deviation. So these are various types of measures used for finding the dispersion. Then second dispersion is relative measure of dispersion. We will see all these deviations also one by one, but I'm just explaining now that what are the various types of dispersion. We'll see this deviations in detail also. So second is relative type of deviation. Relative, sorry, RELATIV, relative measure of dispersion. So a relative measure of dispersion compares the variability of two or more data that are independent of the units of measurement. So here what measurement dispersion is taken, so it is related, it is with one another, that is one data with the another data. So dispersion compares the availability of two or more data that are independent of the units of the measurement. So the data which are independent of the units of measurement, so it has nothing to do with the units. So the common relative measures of dispersions are coefficient of dispersion. So these are coefficient of dispersion, then coefficient of quartile deviation, coefficient of quartile deviation, then coefficient of mean deviation, coefficient of mean deviation, and coefficient of standard deviation, coefficient of standard deviation. So this all are the coefficients. So here we are interested in finding the coefficient which is not having any unit. So the major difference between absolute and relative measures of dispersion is that absolute measure of dispersion measures only the variability of the data. Further, it has the unit of measurement. On the other hand, relative measures of the dispersion are used to compare the variation of two or more distributions. Further, it is the unitless. So here you can compare two or more distributions, two data sets. You can compare with the help of this relative measure of dispersion, even though they both have different units, but you can't do that in the absolute measure of dispersion. So now we will see various coefficient of variation, mean deviation and standard deviation. So let's see coefficient of variation. Coefficient of variation, mean deviation and standard deviation. Mean deviation and standard deviation. So the coefficient of variation, the coefficient of standard deviation is a relative measure of dispersion, and it is given as, so we'll see coefficient of standard deviation. It is given as standard deviation divided by mean. So this is the coefficient of standard deviation. And coefficient of variation, it is the coefficient of standard deviation is a relative measure of the dispersion. So this is the coefficient of standard deviation. Okay, so what we are here interested to find is the coefficient of variation, mean deviation and standard deviation. So first the standard deviation we have found. Now we will see coefficient of variation. So the coefficient of standard deviation is also called the coefficient of variation, and it is denoted by CV. So this coefficient of standard deviation, it is also called CV. So this is also called CV. So the coefficient of variation is nothing but coefficient of standard variation only. So but it is mentioned in terms of percentage. So it will be SD by mean into 100. So for comparing the variability of two series, we need to calculate the coefficient of variations for each series. And the series having greater coefficient of variation is said to be more variable or less consistent than the other and the series having lesser CV is said to be less variable or more consistent than other. So this is the coefficient of variation or standard deviation. Now we'll see the second, it is mean deviation. So what is mean deviation? So mean deviation, so suppose let xi divided by fi, if xi divided by fi where I will take from 1 to n is a frequency distribution, then the mean deviation from the average a, usually mean, median or mode, is given by mean deviation is equal to 1 upon n sigma I running from fi divided by xi minus al, where sigma fi is nothing but n. Now, what are all these terms? So, let's see one by one. So, here n is the summation of all the corresponding frequencies which will give the total frequency. So, as sigma fi is summation of all these frequencies which will give the total frequency. Now, what is standard deviation? Sorry, what is here a? So a is here average, usually mean, median or mode. Here you can take either mean, median or mode, whichever you like. And here xi upon fi. So this is frequency, that is fi, and xi are, this is data, and this is sigma fi or n, you can say, that is a summation of all the frequencies. And here, now here standard deviation formula is SD. So the standard deviation formula SD is equal to, we also use the symbol sigma, which is equal to under root 1 upon n sigma fi xi minus x bar whole square. So this is mean, this is data, that is xi, this is frequency fi, and this is the summation sign. The summation of the multiplication of the frequency into the difference of the data with respect to mean whole square is n 1 upon n under root is called standard deviation. So the square of the standard deviation is also called variance. So if we square it of the standard deviation, it is also called variance, and it is given by v is equal to 1 upon n sigma fi xi minus x bar whole square. So this is standard deviation and variance formula. We have to see the examples also of this. Now let's see a new topic or a related topic, that is a skewness. So what is skewness? So skewness means lack of symmetry in a frequency distribution. So it is also defined as degree of asymmetry. You can write it as degree of asymmetry. Degree of asymmetry means we can see any data or a graph where there is no symmetry in the data, so that is called asymmetry. So how much that is variant means how much it is varying, so that we can find with the help of skewness. So the presence of skewness tells us that a particular distribution is not symmetrical, or in other words, if we want to say, it is skewed. So it we can say it is skewed. So where it is skewed, that also we need to find. So it is positive or negative skewness, so left or right. So in skewed distribution, the curve is turned more to one side than the other side. So distribution is called symmetric if the mean, median and mode coincide. That is, if mean, median and mode all are on the same point, all are same, then then the distribution is called symmetric. Then the system is called symmetric. Otherwise, the distribution becomes asymmetric. If this is not, if this is not true, if this is not true, then it is called asymmetric. So if the right tail is longer, we get positively skewed distribution for which mean is greater than median is greater than mode. So this is called as positive skewed. And if the left tail is longer, we get negatively skewed. We get negatively skewed. We get negatively skewed distribution for which mean is less than median is less than mode. So positive skewness. The skewness, let me draw a diagram so you will get more understanding of the positive and negative skewness. So let's forget sorry let's forget this first. We are seeing here positively skewed first. So positive skewness, so skewness is said to be positive if the mean is greater than median is greater than mode is greater than mode. So mean, median, mode. So here, so this will be a diagram. So here this will be mean, this will be median, and this will be mode. So as you can see, mean is greater than median is greater than mode. So this is called positively skewed. And similarly, if I were to draw negatively skewed diagram, so how it will be? So it will be the hoop will be on the right hand side. So this will be the right hand. So this will be the mean. This will be the median, and this will be the mode. So this is called negatively skewed. So now if I want to measure the skewness, so how we can measure this skewness? So measure of skewness. So if I want to measure the skewness, so the skewness can be measured with the help or to know the degree. So what does measure of skewness helps us? So it helps us to know what degree, in which direction, positive or negative, the frequency distribution has deviation from the symmetry. So all the positive and negative skewness can be detected graphically depending on whether the right tail or the left tail is longer, but we don't get an idea of the magnitude. So besides borderline cases between symmetry and asymmetry may be difficult to detect graphically. Hence, some statistical measures are required to find the magnitude of the lack of symmetry. So measures of the skewness can be both absolute as well as relative. So we have seen we'll see absolute measures of the skewness. Absolute measures of skewness. So first it is skewness. Formula is there is mean minus median. So this is one type of absolute measure. Second will be mean minus mode, and third will be q3 minus q2 minus q2 minus q1. Now here the absolute measure of the skewness cannot be used for purpose of comparison because of the same amount of skewness has different meanings in distribution with smaller variation and in distribution with large variation. So we will see other types of skewness. that is relative measures of the skewness. So second is relative measure of skewness. So what is relative measures of the skewness? So here the various methods are used for relative measures of the skewness. So first is beta and gamma coefficient of skewness. So Carl Pearson defined the beta and gamma coefficient of skewness based upon second and third center moments. So beta 1 is equal to u3 square divided by u2 cube. So it is used to measure skewness for a symmetrical distribution. Beta 1 shall be 0. Beta 1 as a measure of skewness does not tell us but the direction of the skewness, positive or negative. So uh, second is Carl Pearson's coefficient of skewness. So in Carl Pearson coefficient of skewness, this method is frequently used for measuring skewness. So the formula for measuring the coefficient of skewness, Sk, is given by mean minus mode divided by sigma. So that is standard deviation. So the value of the Carl Pearson's coefficient of skewness must lie between plus or minus 1 for moderately skewed distribution. If mode is not well defined, we use the formula Sk is equal to 3 into mean minus median divided by standard deviation. So using the relationship mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. So this is the relationship mode. So these are the various types of skewness we have seen, and we have also seen in this lecture dispersion. So mainly we were interested in finding that how the data are scattered and how we can find the scattering. So we'll see examples, and that will be more clearer than this theoretical. So to hope to see you in the next lecture, and thank you very much.